Buongiorno, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I know I'm smoking. Some folks have said not to smoke in my videos, and I do apologize for that. Since I'm on my 15-minute break, I don't really have any time to smoke and then do a video. So, what I had is something I just had to make a video on. So I apologize for today. I'm actually going to try to quit smoking. I'm going to get the e-cigarettes. I kind of like those. Because I still like to do, the action of it. I still like that part of it. Well, I came up with the concept of what I call the Leprechaun conundrum. Or maybe it's not so much a conundrum, but the Leprechaun Rule, I guess. I don't know. Not sure what to call it just yet. I thought I had it in my head, but Leprechaun is in there. And I don't know. See, I come up with things that later on I'll research and I'll find out what the official term is. And I don't know what the official term will be for what I'm about to talk about now. The Leprechaun Rule. Okay, that's what it was. The Leprechaun Rule. You get the idea. The Leprechaun Rule is the concept in which we as individuals, human beings, or, intelligent beings for that matter, or anybody, anything, well, because we are, have a system unlike other animals on our planet. If there's aliens out there, if there is other life out there intelligent like us, flawed, perhaps, they might have a version of this as well. But what it is the Leprechaun Rule is where we think that something that we don't have a concept of yet, or something that's not reality just yet, but it's or if it is reality, we don't really have enough details to have a concrete understanding and of what it is and what it looks like or what it will be. The Leprechaun Rule, and the reason I use the Leprechaun Rule is, now let's just say, for instance, that leprechauns do exist. Okay, let's say they are, if you believe in spirits, if you believe in entities beyond this realm or whatever they are, and wherever the legend comes from, if those leprechauns are in fact real, then most likely they are not what we perceive them to be as. They're not little short guys who have a red beard with green shorts on, a green cap and green coat, for St. Patrick's Day. That's a cartoon version of it. The same thing can go with time travel. Myths are working on time travel. How close they actually are, or if it ever will be possible. It's not going to be the way that we perceive it to be, the way that it happens in the movies or in books or anything like that. Not necessarily the way that the technology works in the movies, but it won't happen that exact way. Based on what research I've done as to what things are trying to do with it, it's not going to be the way that we think it will be. Once again, Back to the Future is a cartoon version of time travel. It's a fantasy version of time travel because we don't have a real version of it yet. It's something that's fantasy. There's things there that allow us to, come up with it and allow us to kind of behold it, that it's there and it's possible, but we don't have the concrete evidence, like, say, what a bear looks like. We know what a bear looks like. We have them in zoos. We have them in the forest. So that's what the Leprechaun Rule is. And oftentimes people think of things in terms of the Leprechaun Rule, or they think opposite of the Leprechaun Rule. They think of something as being what it is by the cartoon version of it, and it's not that at all. It's just like with spirit, with ghosts. I'm watching several of. I watched the Penn and Teller it was season 3 episode on Ghostbusters. Now that episode I was very, very disappointed in. It's probably the only one that I've really been disappointed in. Other episodes I found, there was other episodes that were kind of boring, because they weren't really tackling the issues in the way that you would think they would on, say, like organic farming or recycling. Those they blew wide open. Those concepts were total bullshit. One example of the episode I'm talking about is endangered species. Now, the angle of that episode was the bullshit of what they've done with endangered species as the way America has written laws so that they can control land, and so other corporations or other things can happen, and they do these things that screw people up who actually own land. It's like, oh, you can't build your house there because this endangered bird is there. But then, say a contract developer has no problem getting in. But people who need to build a house, people who are disabled that don't have any elsewhere to go, they own this land, but they can't even sell it because it's worthless as it is because of these stupid laws. Now, yeah, and that was good. And there was other ones, that they kind of talked about, but they weren't as bad as this Ghostbusters one. Now, and they have this term called a gree-gree. Gree-gree is something that, as much as we try to find bullshit in, there's something that we still kind of believe in, and ghosts is my gree-gree. UFOs to a certain extent, but I'm always on the search for the truth. And I've seen, and see what they did is, all they did was they went and they debunked, like ghost hunters, like people who look for ghosts with, electromagnetic field readers and certain types of equipment, that what they were finding, and ultimately what they could determine was what they were detecting on their readers was like the light fixtures in this house, and making them look like what they're looking for and the way they're finding things is being stupid, which it can be, and it is. And I don't really know what, if ghosts really do exist for sure. But see, what I really wanted them to do was debunk the stuff that is really the hardest evidence and the hardest things that, it looks like it could be something that's not explainable. They pointed out how, they found orbs on a camera, and it was like the most obviously not an orb of what we talk of what's been displayed. It's obviously a reflection, and it's obviously a piece of dust. That is one thing that, that ghost hunters try to determine what is that and what's something else. But I really wanted them to debunk or at least explain the hardest evidence that they have. A friend of mine, he lived in this house. They had, it's a old house and turned into apartments, and they caught something on film. They don't have a computer, and they don't have anything really that can be made to to alter photos. It was just a picture taken with a regular camera, not a digital camera or anything like that. And there was this hanging thing in the air that looked like, from what I've been told, is an ectoplasm, a ghost materializing. But from the research I've been thinking is that maybe, now they said they weren't smoking, they do smoke, but I'm wondering if it was this, there was like residual smoke in the air that the flash hit, and that's kind of where it would have been in the photo, but see, that's what I wanted them to debunk, and I wanted them to separate that Leprechaun Rule from the things that are made claim in that, and they just did not do that. So, but and I think that their show is finished now. From what I've been reading, I'm not sure though. I think they're going to go on and do something else show-wise. But yeah, I just would have liked to have seen them take that Leprechaun Rule and apply that more to the more hardcore evidence that is actually out there, not sit there and waste a whole episode, debunking what we already know in that scientific field is hoo-ha anyway. I studying what I have studied, I already knew that what they were talking about was going to be fake anyway, and what wasn't conclusive as being anything real. So that was a waste of time, and I was very disappointed. So, but anyway, that's the Leprechaun Rule.